Hello, fellow music nuts. It's me, Copy, with another personal spin, and today it's time for another ranking video. Today's ranking, I am doing Rancid. It's a ranked Rancid. Rancid are quite possibly my favouriteest band ever in the history of life, so much so that I have punks tattooed on my arm. I don't know if you can see that. That was the most pathetic arm thingy ever. And I found this discography relatively easy to rank. Again, as always, when I rank them, the actual overall ranking can change depending on the day, but this is how I feel right about now. I suppose I will get started, but first I'd like an honourable mention of the compilation called All the Moon Stompers, which takes all of their Scar related songs right up to Let the Dominos Fall and puts them on one single album, which is really cool because I like their Scar stuff, and yeah, it's just a good little Scar album, but it is a compilation, so technically I can't include it in my ranking, but if I did, it would be somewhere in the middle, probably. Right, let's get started proper. So, my least favourite and least listened to album is their 2000 self-titled album, Rancid 2000. This was actually recorded live 3 times, and they took the best cut of each song and stuck it on the album. I think the reason it's my least favourite is because it's like a more sort of hardcore punk sort of thing, which is fine, but I don't know, it's just the least memorable, and I don't know really, it's just always been my least favourite. It's very raw because it's recorded live pretty much. But it also lacks the variety that I enjoy from Rancid albums. It's also probably their least sort of memorable. It's 22 songs, they're all relatively short except for a few. That said, I really like Loki, Loki and Black Hawk Down and Rwanda. Are probably the highlights. But and Black Derby Jacket. But generally it's probably my least favourite. So that's number 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 albums. Okay. Next up is, I'm not even sure when this was released, 1998. Is Life Won't Wait. This has got some really good tracks on it. I don't know why. It's probably one of their most varied albums, but it also has always felt a little bit sort of all over the place. Each song is very different from the last, and it's kind of a bit disjointed, and there's a lot of guest stars on it, things like that. It's a very good album, but I've just never really listened to it all that much. It's also probably their longest album as well. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I just enjoy others more. That said, I really like Black Lung, New Dress, Warsaw, Leicester Square, Who Would Have Thought, Cash Culture and Violence, and Lady Liberty. So there you go. I like most of the album, to be honest. They are my favourite band, so I like all their albums, but these two are my least listened to albums out of the albums. Next up is their newest album, Troublemaker. This is an interesting one. It shows the band is sort of aging, I suppose is the word. There's a sort of like a steadier sort of feel to the album overall. There's a bit of blues in it, which is a bit. Well, actually, one of the things I like about Rancid so much is the fact that they combine punk with so many different genres, and blues is a new one. I can't remember which song it was. Oh, I Got Them Blues Again, which isn't actually that bluesy, but you know, you guys say, I got the blues again, I got that old time blues again. It's actually a really good album. In fact, all their albums are really good. Really, it's quite hard to. But I think this one is here because it's the newest, and I haven't listened to it as much as the others because I've had it the less time. That said, I did buy it on vinyl as well, and I pre-ordered it in HMV. My favourite song is Telegraph Avenue. I like the dynamic between the acoustic verses and the punk, as it says on the video, chorus. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right, next up we have the band's debut album. This for me, oops, why am I struggling to pick it up? There we go. This is an album that was recorded before Lars was in the band, and as such, it only features Tim on vocals, or maybe a little bit of Matt, and there's kind of a bigger focus on like a bass twiddly basses, like, you know, the bass. Interestingly, it's better produced than the Rancid 2000 album, and has no scary stuff on it, and is but it feels more focused. I don't know. I do enjoy this one, and the whole shooty gun thing on the front is cool as well, and that's a cool picture as well. Rancid are just so good. They're so diverse, and yet their early stuff was just like all out blistering balls to the wall punk and nothing else. But Tim Armstrong is a poet, and that's slowly but surely leaked its way into the music. Next up we have Collision. Is it called Collision Course? No, Honor Is All We Know. This is the only one I don't have on vinyl, actually. I need to buy it on record. This has got some really good songs in it, like Evil Is My Friend, Honor Is All We Know, Collision Course, one of my favourite songs I've ever done. I just love the way Tim lays into that vocals, into the verse vocals and stuff, and the video for it is really cool as well. Yeah, I think it's their shortest album as well, which is me. Brandon is great on drums. Matt, as always, is great. So is Lars, so is Tim. I love Tim. Oh, I'd marry Tim if he was gay, but he's not, so it's okay. Yeah, great album, great album. I just love Rancid. Next up is Indestructible. This is where the band really started to diversify in a better way than Life Won't Wait. Life Won't Wait kind of felt like an experiment. This sort of found the band adding that diversity of sound, but in a much more sort of organised way that sort of worked better. So how to explain it? Rather than having like a punk song and then like a reggae song and then a dub song and then a punk song and then a punk song and then an acoustic song, they kind of mix it. So you've got an acoustic punk song or a organ based ska song, and it just works better in my opinion than Life Won't Wait. This is the album where the band went on to a major label, I believe. I don't really know. I know there was some controversy about it. Everyone was like, "Oh, they're sellouts," or something like that. But I was like, "Nah." It's just a really good album. It's a solid album. Indestructible is a great opener. Then we got two sort of ska songs. Well, Fall Back Down isn't really a ska song. It's kind of a ballady sort of not ballad, if that makes sense. It's a celebration of friendship and togetherness. Woo! Then you got another punk song. Then you got a sort of it's like a garagey start right now type thing. And Out of Control is another balls to the walls punk song. Then Arrested in Shanghai is definitely a ballad. My mum, who is 65, loves Arrested in Shanghai. And it goes on like that all the way through. And on the next album, they did it even more and even better, but we'll get to that one. Next up, we have Let's Go. I bought this. I think this is my second Rancid album ever, and I just loved it. At the time, I had never really heard much punk, and so why is that so blurry? Anyway, so it was kind of like, whoa, this is mind blowing. You know what I mean? You know, Nihilism is a really catchy song, especially the bit where it's like a breakdown, and then it goes, I was so full of scotch, I could not stand up, something, and just like all the way through, it's like that, all the way through, all 23 songs. It's got the rawness of Rancid 2000 and their first Rancid album, but with a more sort of, I don't want to say commercial, but like catchy. Like a lot of the songs are pretty catchy, like Tenderloin, 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 and Salvation, and Radio, 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 Radio. When I got the music, I got a place to go, and stuff like that. It's great. It's a great album, but no Scar on it yet. So perhaps slightly too long, maybe, but it's not. It's all good. Next, we have their classic album, And Out Come the Wolves. The logo is on my bass. This saw the band's first sort of jump into the ska punk thing with songs like Dally City Train, Time Bomb, obviously. It also saw with Lars being in the band proper by this point. I think he was in the band on this album as well. Yeah, he was, but I don't think he actually wrote anything on Let's Go. But this saw them fully embracing the like twin guitar thing, so you get a lot more sort of interesting guitar work on it. They've actually re-released this recently, and I'd like to rebuy it, but as much as I love the band, it kind of feels like a waste because it's got like one extra song on it, and it just doesn't really feel like it's worth it. That said, having 2 copies would be better than none. But I've also got this on vinyl in a wicked box set. It's just a really good album. The songs are great. It's a really strong album, and I will probably add this to my thing I'm doing on Instagram at some point. Plus Maxwell Murder bass solo. And that brings us to the top album, my favourite album, the one I listened to the most, possibly for nostalgic personal reasons to do with boyfriends at the time and other things. I mean, it came out when I was sort of the height of my relationship with my first proper boyfriend, and we both loved it, and so it's got some really good memories, even though we broke up and all that. It's kind of got that nostalgic sort of thing, even though it came at a later time in my life. I was probably, I think I was about 20 at this point. No, wait, yeah, I would have been 21. So, you know, but I love it, and that is Let the Dominoes Fall. This is a great album. It's got such good songs. It's also quite raw. It sees the band experimenting with, like, it's still punky and stuff, but it embraces the rather than the punk sound, it embraces the punk ethos of basically anything goes, while still sticking to their sort of sound. So you've got East Bay Night, which is kind of, it's not an acoustic song, but it's got a nighttime feel to it, which kind of makes sense after the name. And then you got This Place, which is a really short song. Up to No Good is a ska song. Last One to Die is like a fuck you to everyone else. Civilian Ways is a great little ballad about PTSD and soldiers and stuff. And it's just really good. And since this album, Tim did his Tim Time Bomb project, which saw him covering loads of classic like folk songs and stuff in a sort of a punky way, but with a sort of I don't know, it's just Tim Armstrong. It's kind of raw and real. That it's like street, you know, in it. That's what I like about Rancid. They're just very real. They're down to earth, and they tell it like it is, and they're not afraid to be like that. And they've always been like that, and that's why I like them so much. That's why this is my favorite album, because it was like everyone was like, "Oh, you've gone all like commercial," so they released this and was like, "Yeah, so what?" You know what I mean? And I just love it. It's such a good album. And there we go. That is my ranking of Rancid. The ranking Rancid. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you don't know Rancid, I thoroughly suggest you check them out. Definitely try Let the Dominoes Fall first. because it's really good. Tim Armstrong's got such a cool voice. I mean, lots of people go, "Ooh, it's a horrible voice," but me and my mum both agree that it's a unique, and you can instantly tell that it's him that's singing. I love it. So is Lars, and so is Matt Freeman. They've got like 3 vocalists, and they all sound different. And it's just great, simple songs, enjoyable songs, memorable songs that you can get behind and feel. And all their albums are like that, but just in different ways. So there you go. That's my favourite band ranked. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be reviewing more Bowie soon, and then I'll be moving on to review other things once I've finished Bowie. I was trying to be systematic, but I think I might be a bit less systematic as time goes on. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I've been Cubby. This has been a ranking Rancid thingy. I'll see you soon.